Hello and welcome back to Chengi's World. My name is Chengi and you, my precious one, are my world. If you're new to my channel, make sure you subscribe, like, share and comment. And for those of you who are coming back again, you know I love you. You know I do. Thank you so much for being part of my world. As you know, I have just finished writing my book. I'm getting ready for my launch. I cannot wait to share with you the dates and to just keep tuned because it's going to be on and popping. Today is Women Ask Wednesday. And so I want to share something with you that is particularly different. Now, Women Ask Wednesday, ladies, I am not getting enough questions from you. So I have to see whether you want me to keep going with Women Ask Wednesday. Leave a comment in the bottom if you feel this is a segment that really helps you, hearing from each other and sharing our stories so that we are able to move forward together. If this is not something that you want to benefit from, then that is fine. We can find something else to do on a Wednesday. I'm always up to something. Okay, so I send in your questions. It's not that I'm not necessarily getting questions, but I'm getting questions that are very similar sort of situations. So I don't want to be in a position where I'm reading pretty much the same thing. I know we're not the Jerry Springer show, so we're not trying to bring on any kind of crazy stuff either necessarily for entertainment value. But I really do want to hear from you, and I really want to be able to share your particular story, perhaps with somebody who might be going through the same thing. As a community and as a people, we get to interact and get to share and help each other out. So please do send me your questions. I will always attempt to get back to you in person, one-to-one, via email or via DM or however you manage to contact me. And I'm always happy to be there for you, my angels. But also I would love for us to be able to share experiences, and that in a way you would begin to see in somebody else's situation what is going on with you. And so moving forward, today's video was something that was given to me by one of my clients who actually sent me a message on my Facebook, and she was just updating me on somebody that she had been dating, and they had been dating they went on about 4 dates. He's a police officer. And so on the 4th date, she agreed for him to pick her up from home, which, to be honest, is nothing. By the time you get to the 4th date, it means you quite like this person, and you've done hopefully your vetting and your analysis, and you've listened to your gut, and you feel that you are significantly safe. If you don't feel safe with somebody by the 4th date, then you probably don't need to be seeing them. So what she did wasn't particularly wrong, but what she did do that was wrong. So basically on the 4th date, she decided that really it wasn't for her. He was too needy, whatever the situation was. She realized that this was not the man for her, and she did what I ask all my clients to do, to be upfront, honest, and not waste anybody's time. And so she did the right thing. She was very clear about the fact that she felt no romantic chemistry, and she gave him some feedback, which is very kind, and he seemed to understand. And recently, and this was a few months ago, and recently he started stalking her and harassing her and sending her text messages that were ridiculous and rude. And so she eventually had to end up going to the police regarding this situation. And what I really wanted to share, and she said to me, can you please share this with your angels so that they can be safe. Now, the reality of it, angels, is we do not have a human. I wish every sociopath or psychopath in life came with a warning bell. The closer you got to them, the more the alarm bells went off, like ding, 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 ding. I wish that was the case, but unfortunately people don't come with warning signs on their foreheads. But what we do have is, I've got a video on this channel called Trust Your Gut. Please go and watch that. What we do have, and what God has put on the inside of us, is a protection mechanism, especially in us as women, where we can pick up when something is not right. And so when I was speaking to my client, she was saying to me she did not feel right from day one. She did not, there were so many red flags on date 2 and date 3 that, but she kept overriding it because he's a police officer. Let me tell you something about psychopaths and sociopaths. Whilst I'm not a clinical psychologist, I have done enough of my own research to be able to say the following. Some of these people tend to be in trustworthy jobs. They tend to be in jobs like police, the army, you know, because of the condition that they're in. So you won't necessarily, you will think this is a trusted person. I'm not saying policemen are dodgy or army people are dodgy, but I'm saying that what a person does for a living is not, they could be a social worker, they could be, we know that you cannot judge somebody by what they do for a living. Some sociopaths and psychopaths are lawyers, policemen. There's a list, if you go online, of the kind of positions and jobs that they really that they thrive in because of their inability to be empathetic, right? And so in our ability to keep ourselves safe, we cannot decide. And what happened with my client is she overrode the fact, oh, he's this, he's a father, he's a police officer, I must be safe with him. And we do that, all of us, sometimes when we meet somebody. Oh, he's a pastor, he's a leader, he's a governor, he's a politician, he's somebody of note. And one of the things that you have to understand about psychopaths is they tend to have a good face for public. You know, they tend to be heads of charities and tend to be doing good on one hand, but on the other hand have a completely different existence, a completely different life. Even narcissists have a way of tend to be very liked. They tend to have a very good public image, and so we have to be careful when we're dealing with people, when you override your gut, when you override your intuition, because something in your mind tells you that this person is trustworthy. So what I'm saying to you today is that you cannot afford to override that instinct. When you are sitting in the company of a man for the very first time, listen to your gut, listen to what your spirit, your soul, your emotions are telling you, not necessarily what's coming out of his mouth. And I mean this not only for your security in terms of your physical security and well-being. I mean this towards your mental, the lies that you need to be watchful for. If you are talking to somebody and you feel like they're lying, they probably are lying. So I am saying to you, be aware, walk in awareness of how you are feeling, because God will speak to your gut. He will speak to your spirit. He will ring an alarm bell. And sometimes those alarm bells get louder and louder, but the more desperate we are to be in a relationship, give somebody a chance. You know, we start to tell ourselves, give him a chance, don't judge. He's a judge in a courtroom, he's a lawyer, he's a doctor, he's a policeman, he's a teacher, or whatever is these trusted professions. We tell ourselves that we override because he's handsome, he's good looking, it's been a while since I've met somebody, this is the first date I've been on with somebody that I've got chemistry with, so I'm going to override. And I have done it too. And ladies, even when you meet somebody and you just don't fancy them, sometimes that is God's and heaven's thing to say, you know, I have been in a situation where I've overridden, I just didn't fancy him. Something in my spirit didn't take to him. It wasn't anything that seemed terrible. It wasn't anything that made me feel afraid, but something in me was just not feeling him. But I just was out already, and I'd already dressed up, and I was there, and being who I am, I didn't want him to feel bad. So I opened myself up and eventually found myself in a situation, in a relationship with this person that was beautiful and wonderful. And I was even saying to myself, oh my God, you know, I'm so glad I gave him a chance, only to discover that actually there were issues there that were ridiculous, okay, and that it was never going to be safe or good for me to be with that person. Now that ended up taking God to intervene, move him out of my life, then reveal why. It was such a saga. God had to move heaven and earth to keep me safe from this person, but he had already initially spoke to my heart, had already initially given me that warning and that red flag. What this video is about, ladies, is to say, please, 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 do not ignore the red flags. Do not ignore the red flags, okay? Do not ignore the red flags. Be sure to continue to be watchful, to be wary. When you feel something, take a step back, you know, wait a while, investigate. Don't let anybody come to your house or have any of your personal details until you have satisfied yourself that those red flags were probably just prejudice or just whatever, and you have vetted and verified. You need to verify these things. If you have a red flag about something and you're not sure, and you verify it, make sure you verify it before you expose yourself. And so now this young lady is in a situation now with the police where they're asking her to press charges and all kind of things, and it's got messy. She didn't want this guy to lose his job or to get into this situation. Turns out this is his behavior. This is not the first time he's done it. But what is important to me, ladies, as you go out there, is you must understand that you are, as the Bible says, the weaker sex, and God is not talking about your mind being the weaker mind or anything spiritual or mental. We are equal to men. Yes, we are in substance, but God is talking about our physical vessel cannot be compared to the strength of a man. You know, I don't care, unless you are a trained fighter who's been training for very many years, and even then you couldn't fight a man in your category. Men are built with physical superiority. They're able to physically do more. They have more muscle mass. They are stronger than us physically, and in other ways that we are not strong. They're strong in other ways that we're not strong, and we're strong in ways that they're not strong. But we are indeed physically weaker, which means our ability to protect ourselves from predators, we just have to use that inner gut to keep ourselves safe. You know, you have to listen to your spirit, and when it tells you this is not a healthy environment to be in, this person is not a healthy person, when you start to see those red flags, act on them, move on them. Don't sit and second guess yourself and judge yourself and say, oh, I don't know, maybe I could be wrong. Act on it, verify, go through it, ask somebody, is this normal? We want to be safe. We want breakthrough, and sometimes in order to have breakthrough, we have to take risks and do things that we were not able to do before. But those risks have to be calculated, and we have to be able to keep our body, minds, and souls together. And when I speak of safety, I'm not just talking about physical safety alone. I'm talking about emotional safety, mental safety. Some people are not mentally and emotionally safe for you to be around, and what will happen is when you meet them, your spirit, your heart, something in you is gonna ring an alarm, and you have to listen to it regardless of how you feel about your circumstance or your situation or that person or the way things are presenting themselves. You have to listen to that alarm bell, because it is warning you in order to save you. So ladies, as we enter 2019 and opportunities become available, please, please take a minute with God. Take a minute to pray. Take a minute to find out before we go head in and start overcommitting and giving out information and details that we've got no business doing that for. So thank you so much for watching this video. Take care of you. Love you so much. Love you lots. Take care of you. Bye-bye now.